business on display. Yeah, 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 yeah. We gon' put your business on display. I got winners on the way. You know you can't knock the hustle. And if you gotta get in place, then we gon' put your business on display. Grab a seat, we need you for a minute. And if you got the goods, we can talk about your business. She know what it's like to make a move independently. And I don't fake us like that. We been trusting God like that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business on display.
Hey everybody, happy Wednesday, happy hump day, happy hump day. We are here, we made it to the third week of October and super excited to be here today. I want to just put a reminder out there if you guys are watching, those of you who are watching and who will be joining us later. Today we're having a mastermind class and it's Nisha's Network mastermind classes this evening at 6 p.m. I believe. So reach out to me if you all are interested. And we're going to have an amazing time. We have an amazing time every third Wednesday evening of the month, Central Standard Time. And so all you business owners and masterminds and people that are aspiring business owners, please feel free to reach out so you can come hang out with me for the mastermind. Well, today what I love about this Nisha's Network platform is the fact that I get to learn something new almost every week. I'm encouraged to watch other people's businesses grow and prosper and expand and just open up doors for other people. And today we're going to talk about a little bit about franchising and precision franchise, which my special guest, precisionfranchise.com, Precision Franchise LLC, and none other than my special guest is none other than, I got a tongue twister, Tamika Franklin. Hi, Tamika.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited to talk to you today. I'm excited to talk to you today. And I met Tamika on, everybody say it with me, Clubhouse. Everybody's always like, you just stay on Clubhouse. Not anymore. I don't stay on there anymore, but I feel like the relationships that I've built have kind of like stuck. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's some more to come. But in the meantime, there are certain people that stand out to me. And we have the privilege of sometimes hanging out at 6 a.m. with Pamela Mack and Karen. Oh my gosh, Karen's last name is leaving me right now. That is so terrible. Karen Jones, right, who I've interviewed both of them. So that's really crazy. But anyway, so I'm always intrigued to talk to Tamika. But Tamika, before we dive into really what you do and the name of your business and how it is so amazing, where are you from?
I'm here in Brooklyn, New York.
New York. Yeah. New York. Okay, I'm just saying that because I just say that. They're from New York. But anyway, how long have you resided there? Are you a resident?
Oh yeah, I've been here forever. My family's from Trinidad, if you want to know nationality. So it was either there or New York City, Brooklyn, New York is where I grew up.
Girl, I don't know if I would have chose Trinidad. You think? That sounds amazing. Have you been there?
Oh yeah, a lot.
Okay. Well, listen, you guys, we're here to just introduce to you guys Tamika Franklin and talk some things about her. And I really didn't go extensively like I do with some people because I really want us to learn about what she does. And I think it will open up doors for a lot of people as you're watching and paying attention. I really believe that in making connections. So first of all, the name of the business, well, your title is you're a franchise consultant and a broker. First of all, tell us what that is.
Absolutely. And just wanted to put a disclaimer out here. This is my first live.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
I'm so honored. Yay.
She's like, now all those questions I had made sense, right? Like, why are you asking about that? Like, yeah, this is the first time I went live.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, so as a franchise consultant or broker, as I am known, what I do is I assist you in the process of owning a business within the franchise industry, which is all proven business models. So how I like to explain it, because people get it right away when I do that, is just like a real estate agent. When you are in that journey of looking for a home and you go to a real estate agent or broker, they they ask you a few questions, they get to know and understand what it is that you're looking for, and then they go out, they come back with options for you, until something happens, until you find that right one, walk you through that process. They may align you with attorneys and other resources, and then you purchase your home. But you don't pay them for the process of finding you the home. They are compensated by the owners. So I work in the same way. I am compensated by the franchise or proven business model, the brands, or the models. That's what we like to call them, and it has nothing to do with what brand you decide to go with or anything. So it's truly a process where you are. It's designed for you to make the best decision possible. And I don't work for any one brand. I have hundreds and hundreds of brands in my inventory that I'll be able to introduce you to.
So this is really good, you guys. So if you're watching, this will be a great time to ask as many questions as you can, along with setting up a consultation with Tamika. But in the meantime, so that really kind of brought a little interest to me. So what made you decide to actually do this? I see you started the business. You launched it in August of 2020. Tell us a little bit about your background, and then tell us what made you jump and take a leap of faith into this business and launch it.
So I have a very varied and long sales background. I've worked with the financial industry back in the day, New York Life, and I've always, found myself in roles where I felt like I want to help my community. I wanted to help. So whether or not they're like, oh, you want to maybe stay in this demographic or stay in this area, I always feel like once I understand and know the information that's key and what, the dominant race is doing, I want to bring that back to all of us.
Okay.
So I tend to really, enjoy when I am in roles like that. So the funny thing is, it was way back when I was doing that, I happened to meet someone. I happened to go into a what do you call it? A chamber of commerce, where they actually had someone that did a short presentation and gave some points on the franchise industry, just letting you know exactly what, just things that you didn't hear in your community at all. Like, I didn't know that there were thousands of franchises out there. The only franchise I knew about was McDonald's, or like the food franchises. Those are the things that's going to come to mind. I didn't know that there are so many franchises that you can actually invest in, and it's under 60,000 or something like all these like key things I didn't know. And the one thing that really grabbed me was when they said that that franchising, the success rate of franchising is 90%. So that threw me through.
Really?
Oh yeah. Cause I've always, known, the first, small businesses, all small businesses in the first 5 years, have a 50%. This is something that we've always known, but no one is telling us about an avenue, a path that you can go where the success rate is that high at 90%. So it's something that I've learned about. I kind of immersed myself in the industry over the years. I didn't make a leap or anything, but I just stayed close. Like, I always went to the expos. I've always made sure I connected with certain people because it was something I've always liked. And I would always tell people like, oh, you should think about this. You should, and I would always do that, but it wasn't my business. So it just, I think just like a lot of us during the pandemic, there's just been a lot of reflecting and just knowing the things that you just don't want anymore, whether it's your corporate position, whether it's just whatever. It's like, I feel like, a lot of shifting and pivoting was going on during that time. And I decided that I was going to go ahead and bite that bullet and go ahead and open this up. So got licensed, did everything that I needed to do. And by, I would say, July, August is when, I was fully like, okay, ready to go. And yeah. So
wow.
definitely.
So in my mind, when I think of franchises, and I think I've talked briefly about this with you, I know a few people that have opened like Subways or mainly food chains, Harold's Chicken. And do you know about Harold's Chicken?
No, I felt like someone said that before though, but I don't.
Okay, that's like a fried chicken place here in Chicago that has like been around forever, and
See,
they
now when
really
I'm
have.
in Chicago, now I'm going to remember Harold's Chicken. Like Nisha
Oh,
said,
I won't let you forget. Okay. So anyway, we can't eat that every day though, because I'm just
I
kidding.
know.
But anyway, so but what I was thinking about, so I know a few people that opened like um jump zones or play places for children
Mhm,
and different things like that, franchises, Chuck E. Cheese's and stuff like that. But when I think about opening a franchise,
mhm,
first of all, I think about the work that goes behind it, just because of watching my associates and friends go through so much, but
mhm,
also that they have to have large amounts of money, like
mhm.
$50,000 to so tell me a little bit about people that want to like begin and open a franchise. And I mean, I know it's a broad scale because there's thousands of franchises you can open, or businesses that will be suitable for you. But do you, depending upon how much money people have, you'll choose something for them, or you find out their interests? How does that even work? Because if somebody came to you with like, all I have is $3,000 and I want to open a franchise, you probably would turn us away, right?
So I would definitely say stay connected.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't be able to help you now, but you would get all the education and everything, and I'm jokingly, but yeah, normally what I would do is, and I always encourage people to make sure that, like for example, right now I'm at the tail end of it, but I gave a 5-part webinar series, and it was all about franchises that was recession resistant, and it was all franchises surrounding the home,
Hmm.
and and you didn't need a brick and mortar for the majority
Okay.
of them. So I basically broke it up. It's like 17 companies, and the next one is going to be Thursday on the 28th. And that one is going to be focusing on B2B businesses. And a lot of people wouldn't tie that together. They wouldn't think that they can have a franchise that's B2B, where it's because I get that a lot, where people ask, they will see like on my questionnaire, you're able to rate the industry. So they'll see real estate or restoration, and they're like, oh, they have that, oh well, I'll give that an 8, or I'll say a 9. So I really like this last one that I'm doing, because it has a brand where it's going to go into, one is property management, another one is was inspection, home inspection, and I believe the last one, wow, it's slipping me right now. But they're all a restoration. I'm sorry if I didn't say that already. It was restoration, and I
Hmm.
even have a bonus brand that was supposed to be really in our, I believe, maintenance category.
Okay.
But yeah, so I do things like that, because I don't charge you. It's free. You're going to be learning about things that no one is really telling you about. I'll be honest, in this industry, a lot of brokers, they don't really care to go out into the community or anything like that. It's like they buy their leads, and that's why it stays in their demographic. This industry is over 77% white men, only 8% African American.
Wow.
And I just believe that a lot of that is because there's just not awareness. So I do a lot of things to bring awareness. So even if you're not quite ready yet, you're going to get information from me that's going to know what it is that you need to do to get ready. I have done webinars where I would interview whoever, one of my resources that's going to be for finance, so that you would know. A lot of people don't know that they can use an old 401k, to help fund. There's SBA. There's so many different ways of funding, and just so much information that, again, is not readily available for you. No one is really just pouring this type of information out for you. So,
So what are the basic qualifications like? And I know people have to do a consultation, but even before people even come and sit down with you,
mhm.
if you could give like 3 basic qualifications that says, you know what, I'm interested in. And when I hear franchise basically is, it could be the start of your own business. It does not have to necessarily be an up and running business. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
So when you say, I want to make sure I understand your question. So franchises in general, all franchises is think of it as a blueprint. It's a proven business model. It's a business that has already been done, that has a system in place.
But it doesn't mean that it has to be a McDonald's. Like it could be
Absolutely not.
So it could be, it doesn't have to be an actual McDonald's, but you can do a, like Coming to America, a McDowell's with the
No,
same with the
no,
same model.
let me clarify that. So
Okay.
with franchising, they have there's over 40 industries.
Okay.
So for example, you would have beauty and spa, that's an industry. You would have business management, you would have child education, STEM, you would have restoration, that's an industry.
And
Automotive.
when you say restoration, are you speaking of like real estate?
So the restoration is, and the reason why I include that in like a real estate category is because sometimes people don't really connect the two. Restoration is really when you know, like if there was a flood or something happened at your house and you have to call the insurance agent, they send someone over. So you're bringing back damage, you know, whether it's mold or water or anything, which is why it's, you know, considered recession resistant. Because at any given time, these, you know, things happen. You know, things happen to your house. So instead of like, again, just someone who just decided like, hey, I'm a handyman and I could do that, and they try to put everything together and they own their business. You actually have companies that are franchises where you can own that business, but the difference is you're going to get a ton of support. So you're going to get the brand recognition, right? You're going to have a lot of these brands, they have call centers, you know, which is actual people in call centers that's not only taking calls, but even making outreach calls on behalf of your company. Those are the type of things you're getting. You have, like, if it was a brick and mortar, let's say it's a brand where it's a brick and mortar, you know, they have the real estate locator, you know, person. They have someone that's negotiating leases. They're mapping out territories for you to see like, okay, this territory is better because of this demographics and here's why. So it's basically giving you all the tools and everything that you need for a system that's already running, which is why it's such a high success rate.
Okay. So I understand now. So I was thinking about while you were talking, I'm always a visual person. So I was thinking about like Delta Sonic car washes. That's real popular in Chicago. I don't know if this is popular there, but it just made me think, or Amazon. Amazon's worldwide, and I know some people that have bought the transportation, or they have the franchise of the transportation piece of Amazon.
Yes.
So let's realistically say, because somebody did tell us, some friends of ours, they were like, you know what, you all should consider that for retirement. And I've watched them work till their tongue hang out. Now they have a little break, but it took a really good hard year for them to really get things off the ground. And I work hard already, so I wasn't. But I do. It was something that, you know, piqued our interest. So with that being said, realistically, as people are watching, what is a realistic number of what top three things you would say that people need to bring to the table before they even come and sit down and talk to you?
So I would say that, and just taking franchise off the table, just forget about the fact that it's, because a lot of times people, when they hear franchising, it's big. They say it sounds big, it's big.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So forget about that. If you're looking to own a business, you know, and especially if you're thinking about a brick and mortar, you're going to need, unless you have capital, you know, which is absolutely something that you're going to need capital, whether it's a franchise business or whether you're starting the business from scratch, you're going to need capital. I say rule of thumb, you want to make sure that you do have at least 25,000 somewhere that you can grab. You want to, so you want to think of your working capital. You want to mentally be ready, because a lot of times it's a nice idea. It sounds nice to be, you know, an owner, a business owner, but are you mentally ready to do that? Like, you know, are you ready to give in whatever it takes to start this business? Because, you know, it's not something that's easy. Even with a franchise that's giving you all of that support, you know, you still have to do work as well. You still have to, you know, so whatever it is you think it is needed to own a business, you know, think that you still need to come with that same energy for a franchise as well. And just realistically, and your lifestyle. So there's something that you said that made me think of that, of talking about that, which is of just what is your lifestyle now? What is it that you really want? Really take a good examination of that, because that's the reason why during my consultation I would ask you particular questions, because if you were telling me that, look, I don't really want to be in the day to day, I want to, I have kids or I'm retiring, so I want my weekends, then that's going to eliminate, a certain pool of franchises. So I'll be able to then take the information that you're giving me and then come back with options that's going to suit your needs.
Got
So that's what I would say.
That's really good. So if you guys are watching, we're talking to Tamika Franklin, and she is a franchise consultant and a broker, and she will help you to launch your next franchise. And right now, we're just talking about how her consultation is customized to make sure to fit your lifestyle, basically. And then I heard the big almighty number is that you need $25,000 to start. So if you don't have some form of capital that
You
you
have to have
capital,
capital.
you have to have capital, right?
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. I'm gonna be transparent because I have opened and closed, by seven to eight salons, and the first couple we took capital out of our home to do it, and the return was tricky around 9/11. So I'll just say that 9/11 was a year that I should not have, but I did, and so that's a whole nother story. But I'm just thinking about that because I did lose a lot of money. I worked till I couldn't work anymore, but the return was not there. And unfortunately, I had to close due to health concerns and the fact that the strip mall was, so I'm sure that you give some form of like the demographics and all of that goes along with before people actually launch. So you guys, I want to just do this real quick before we finish up. I want to make sure you all go to precisionfranchise.com. That's Tamika's website for precisionsfranchise.com, but she is on all social media platforms. And you all want to go and look her up and get a consultation, because I do know several people that have talked to me about getting a franchise. And that was one of the reasons I wanted so much to talk to you. But I think so many people have this amazing idea of what that's going to look like, and they don't really know the ins and outs of it. So this is why we have Tamika here, you guys, and this is why she's in New York, but she can help you no matter where you are, all over the world. So you all contact her, precisionfranchise.com. So Tamika, I want to ask you, what has been some of the rewards of what you're doing? Oh, before I ask you that, hold on, before the rewards, I want to ask you this. Have you personally, okay, so would you consider Precision Franchise your franchise, or would you say would you consider opening an actual franchise brick and mortar?
So my business is, no, it's not a franchise. It is an LLC. The one thing that I would talk about then, the difference between, because that's actually a good point that you brought up, because a lot of people have the misconception that just because they see more than one location that it's a franchise, and it's not. Franchises are extremely regulated. They're regulated with the federal and state, and they have a document associated with it called for short, FDD, which is the franchise disclosure document. That document is like your Bible. That's like your everything you need to know about this business is in this document.
Okay.
They have categories, like they have sections in it, and there's 23 items, and each item represents a particular type of information. So you would have, let's say, it's the item 19, which is, going to go over like their past performance and things of that nature. So it's really something where you're not going in blind, because you're getting provided all kinds of information on it. And it's to the point where it's so important that even if you came in and you was excited, Nisha, you said, Tamika, this is it. You saved my life. This is what I want. This is what I want to do. Where do I sign? You still can't move forward. You have to go through the process. This is a huge document. That's why I always pair with a franchise attorney in particular. You have to have that document for 14 business days before you can move forward and sign.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so you can't. So again, so it's not anything that you're gonna be going through blind. Like you would, by the time you actually make that decision, you know that this is the one for me. This is the one that I'm gonna move
If you're
forward.
willing to go through
And
the
it's a
process.
two-way street. It's a two-way street because it's not, I'm not introducing you to brands where they're trying to twist your arm and trying to tell you everything to get on board. No, they're sizing you up. They're looking at you too because they want to make sure that you are the right fit for them as well.
So
So
what is that process? Is every business different depending upon the process? Like
yeah,
every process, some can last what it takes 3 months, or some it takes 6 months, or how does that? What does that even look like?
so I always say you set the pace because sometimes I feel like when I do get a couple, sometimes I get the experience where people will come in and we'll have the consultation. They'll feel great. They'll be in the understanding, and then in the next process, I may go through a business assessment with you, which is something where if you guys have ever heard of those like personality tests or disc assessments where they
Right,
ask you
right.
for profile, I have something like that as well. So I may go through that. And then based on everything that that we've discussed during the consultation and this business assessment, I will then do my homework, come back with maybe four brands at a time, and then I would the next call would then be like this, where it would be on a Zoom, and I'll be sharing my screen, and I will go over a high level. This is why I chose this, and tell you a little bit about each one. And then you're going to tell me, hey, out of those four, I really like the first two. So when we get to that part, then the next step is going to be the introduction to the brands. Now, each brand have their own process as far as their steps in. Maybe the first call is just a call to get to know you. And then the second call may be a presentation. There's some brands that don't really do presentations, or there's some brands that has a presentation from the first call. There's a stage called validation. And that validation stage is where you're going to be speaking with other owners, and that's where you're going to be asking candid questions on, hey, one of my favorite questions that I always advise to ask: would you do this again? So you're speaking to the horse's mouth. I
Yeah.
mean, really, like if you had to do it over again, would you do this again? I would want to know that if I was going to own. And and I set you up with stuff like that. Like I know that a lot of people, they may not know even what to ask. So I have documents, like on the franchise calls, I'll have a document saying, okay, great questions to ask the franchisors. And then I'll have a document that says great questions to ask in their validation stage, stuff like that. So when I say each process is different, that's what I mean. Like they may have where there's even brands where coming closer to the end, they want your resume. They need you to send a letter saying why you think you are a good fit. There's some brands that do that. There's some brands that's not as structured like that as far as their process in getting to own. But either way, I'm here as your internal advocate, where I walk you through that process, and I join the calls with you, especially the first two calls. I would join those calls with you. I would do recap calls where I'll ask you how we feeling, have any concerns, because sometimes maybe you won't say what
Yeah.
you're thinking, but you would say it to me, and I will go like, I will find that out for you. I would, and then maybe we should take this off the table. Whatever the case is, I'm your internal advocate throughout that process.
So you do a lot of work hoping that people will seal the deal, is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
That's a faith journey in itself. Well, because of that, I'm gonna ask you our final question, because I really want to say, what has been rewarding since you launched in 2020? What has been the most rewarding thing that has taken place?
The most rewarding thing for me has been that, coincidentally, because I have had consultations coincidentally in the South, like a lot of people either in Atlanta or North Carolina or Texas. Like I've been having a lot of consultation with people from outside of New York. But the very first person that actually went through the process, I actually met on Clubhouse as well. And I have another client that I'm very excited about as well. They're embarking on an empire because they're looking to open not one, not two, but 11 locations. And, both people of color, and the fact that the very first one was someone that's right in my backyard in Brooklyn, New York. And that's kind of was my thought process of, I want to be able to change communities. I want to bridge that gap of the fact that it's only 8% African American or people of color. It's only, with all people of color, it's like, I think about 12 or something like that. And then also just the fact that, even with women, again, it's 77% white men, right? So just to know that that was like my first person to go through, like, I felt really, really good about that. So
that is amazing, girl. Oh my gosh. And I know you said that just be consistent and continue to work with affirmations, faith, and your mindset is needed. And I'm really grateful. Thank you so much for today. I'm hungry for more, but we don't have more time. But
Okay.
if you guys want to reach out to Tamika, please do. Tamika Franklin, precisionfranchise.com. Look her up on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and check her out in some of her Clubhouse rooms on the social media app Clubhouse. And I'm sure you're on LinkedIn. I'm almost positive. I know that's the truth. So, and if you know anybody, you just don't have to be you, but if you know anyone that's interested, please reach out to Tamika Franklin, the franchise consultant. I'm so grateful. If you had any last words, what would you share with our viewers?
Again, I have things going on all the time where I'm doing free webinars. They're very, very informative. It's no pressure. You're learning a lot. So I would invite everyone, if you do go onto my website, the pop-up immediately comes up with the next webinar that I am having, which is all about the B2B services, and that's going to be a really good one. So I would implore you guys to share that information and join and listen.
All right. Well, thank you so much for today. I appreciate you coming on, and share, you guys, this video, and go back and replay it and listen and see if you are that next franchise that's going to change your community. Thank you so much, Tamika, for today. Until next week, you guys, we will see you guys later for our next special guest on We Work Wednesdays. Have a blessed day, everybody. Bye, Tamika. Hold on a minute.
Thank you.